Pérák, the Spring Man, was an urban legend originating from the Czechoslovak city of Prague during the German occupation of Czechoslovakia in the midst of World War II. In the decades following the war, Pérák has also been portrayed as a Czech superhero. According to historians Callum McDonald and Jan Kaplan in their book Prague in the Shadow of the Swastika, A History of the German Occupation 1939 to 1945, the Springer was said to leap out from shadowy alleys and startle passers-by. Oral tradition suggests that some of Pérák's leaps were of an extraordinary magnitude, including the act of jumping over train carriages, similar to England's Spring Heel Jack. A contemporary, and possibly associated rumor concerned a razor blade man who was said to slash at victims with razors attached to his fingers. Researcher Mike quotes George Janetti, a noted authority on the policing of Prague during the war years, that in 1940 to 1942, none of our police precincts in Prague informed us in their daily reports of the existence of a spring man. This does not mean that such rumors might not have circulated, however, it would have been impossible to include them in the reports without tangible proof. In 2015, a social activist claiming the identity of Pérák fronted a guerrilla media campaign to commemorate the former site of the Lety concentration camp. The 2017 book Mitos Operakovi. Mezz legenda mezi folklorem a populární kulturu by Czech folklorist Petr Janáček offers a comprehensive survey of the Pérák phenomenon, tracing a history from the figure of spring-heeled Jack in England during the early 19th century through to Czech folklore before, during, and after World War II, and then into popular culture via a succession of speculative fiction novels, comic book treatments, and other works of fiction. A 14-minute 1946 Czechoslovak animated cartoon Pérák ISS, Springman, and the SS, also released in English-speaking markets as The Chimney Sweep, was created by the renowned Czech animator Jiří Trinka and filmmaker Jiří Brdeka. It portrayed Pérák as a heroic and mischievous black-clad chimney sweep, with a mask fashioned out of a sock. He was capable of performing fantastic leaps due to having couch springs attached to his shoes. Pérák taunted German army sentries, the Gestapo, and, particularly, a Hitler-esque Nazi collaborator before escaping in a surrealistic, slapstick chase across the darkened city, ultimately freeing a number of incarcerated citizens of Prague. Trinka's post-war interpretation of Pérák as a quasi-superhero, defying the curfew and the authority of the German occupying forces, formed the basis for sporadic revivals of the character in Czech science fiction and comic book stories. In 2013, the short feature film Pérák, God Mittens, was directed by Pavel Sukup. It is in the noir/mystery genre. In 2016, Marek Berger created an animated film Pérák, Stin nad Prahou, Pérák, The Shadow over Prague. The film won 2 awards at International Student Film Festival in Opava, for Best Animated Film, and Absolute Best Film. In 1948, the figure was used in a newspaper propaganda comics in Halo Noviny. It was visually based on Trinka's animated film. 15 pages were published. In 1961, Pérák was featured as a heroic character in the story Paravi Moose, The Spring Man, which was written by Czech science fiction writer Jan Weiss, and published as part of a collection of short stories entitled Bianca Brazeli, A Two-Headed Lady. In his 1997 biographical essay on Weiss, Willem Munichek speculated that the inspiration for this story was in response to Nazi propaganda. In 1968, the issue of the Mládí Svět magazine, published after the Warsaw Pact invasion of Czechoslovakia, included a 4-strip comics titled Pérák and the USSR. In 1986, Czech science fiction writer Ondřej Neff also portrayed Pérák as a heroic figure in Pérák, Dohodný Bylomla, Pérák, There Was Fog That Day. In 2001, he created a humorous satirical comic strip titled Pérák kontra Globalman, Pérák vs. Globalman, which conflates the figures of the Springer and the Razor Blade Man, and pits him against a villain called Globalman, who bears a strong resemblance to McDonald's mascot Ronald McDonald. In 2002, the cartoonist Adolf Lochman, in cooperation with scriptwriters Moish and Morton, intended to produce a new series of comic strips about Pérák. But only the introductory chapter came out as part of the Comics Fest. Review 03 magazine. Ethnologist Petr Janáček was since 2004 dedicated to scientific research of Pérák. He collected a considerable amount of stories from witnesses. In 2017, he issued a comprehensive publication Mitos Operakovi. Mezz legenda mezi folklorem a populární kulturu, Myth of Pérák. urban legend between folklore and popular culture. The right to use the name Pérák was in 2006 ensured by Petr Stancic. First, he wrote a screenplay to movie, but in 2008 only a book with its fictionalized version was published by the author, portraying him as a World War II-era costumed superhero who battles the Gestapo with the aid of various weapons and mechanical spring-powered boots. In 2019, the book was translated into German and published as Pérák, Der Superheld aus Prague. Since spring 2018, comics about Pérák have been published in the Czech ABC magazine. Its authors are artist Petr Kaplan and screenwriter Petr Masek. Their portrayal of Pérák follows the character's appearance in their comics magazine Die Perusi Zázrak 9, Breathtaking Miracle 9. In May 2019, the collected and extended edition of the series, originally published in ABC magazine, was released as a separate book Pérák, Oko Budoucnosti, Pérák, Eye of the Future. Since 2011, the Vosto 5 Theatre in Prague has been presenting an action historical fiction called Pérák, Nadějemi nezalicí, Rashodujičiny. The plot is placed in the real historical context of the period from the arrival of Reich Protector Reinhard Heydrich to Prague, until his assassination. In this production, Vosto 5 combines elements of martial arts and extreme sports with a typical theatre poetics, and its verbal humor.